That is right. I am actually placing a bet that these four stocks that I currently own over time, maybe I don't know, 1 to 3 years time range, I do feel like they are going to be worth, or at least the value of those stocks combining, they are going to be worth somewhere close to $200,000, if not more. And these are the four stocks I'm actually talking about. The first one is United Health. I actually got in just before that big jump because of Warren Buffett buying it. And not only him, there were some other hedge fund managers as well that did buy in, and we saw a rapid 14 or or well, yeah, like about 14% jump. So it's currently trading much higher than where I bought it. So right now I have like 77 almost and some change shares, and it's what 23.8K. Um, I do feel like if we look at UNH, they're expected to make 1936 dollars in EPS next year. At least that's what the analysts are estimating. Um, so it's a big drop from how much it was making before. But the one positive note is that it is going to increase next year and not go down again. I do feel like the stock might not reach $500-600, you know, like the way it was before, but maybe 2027 the EPS is close to like 21, 22, and the year after that maybe 23, 24. Might not get to 27.66, but will be somewhat closer. And just because of that, I do feel like if they make 23, $24, and if we just give them a PE ratio of what SPY is currently trading, which is probably 17, 18, we're expecting. So let's do it. They're going to make, let's just say, 23, and then $23 in EPS, and we're going to give them 17, 391, give or take. If they, I'm pretty sure 2027 they might be even a little bit more than 23. They will probably make more than $23 in EPS. And when that happens, if we just calculate 24 by 17, it's over 408. So I do feel like United Health might not reach $600 in a year or two or three, but they might get close to $400 within a year or two, or maybe within under 3 years. So when that happens, I have let's just say 78 shares, and if I multiply by 400, that is going to be $31,200, right? So that is UNH. The second stock that I have is Elf Beauty. This one is a growth stock, right? Um, they just acquired Road Beauty, I think, and supposedly that brand, they were making over $200 million in sale last year, I believe. So even if it stays flat, which I doubt, I'm pretty sure this year or the year after, they're definitely going to make even more money. That means more growth for Elf. Now, if we look at Elf Beauty, currently they're expected to make $3.48, but next year is $4.35. That's what the analysts are expecting. And Elf, more often than not, always beats the estimate. So I do feel like they'll probably come somewhat close to 450, and they're assuming that Elf is going to grow 17.54%. I do feel like they're definitely going to be closer to that 20 range. And any stock, or at least a growth stock, that is growing 20% year over year definitely deserves somewhere close to 40 PE. And when we calculate that, so let's just say they're going to make 435, whatever the analysts are expecting, times 40, which is very reasonable. That means the stock price is going to be somewhat closer to 174. So if we calculate that, we have 200 shares times 174. That is going to bring it to 66 right now. Now we have our biggest stock, or at least the one that I am heavily invested in, AMD. I have about 400 shares. So I do have another account in Fidelity that I own 100 more shares there. So in this account is 300, and here you will see that in Fidelity I have 100 more shares there. So all in all is 400 shares combined. Currently it's trading around 178, and I'm already up 54%, but I am pretty confident that I'll make way more in this stock. For AMD though, the analyst, they're expecting this year for them to make 391, and next year $6, a little over $6. And analysts are expecting this company to grow over 20% even next year. Even though they're saying 21.20, I do feel like AMD is probably going to reach that 25% growth benchmark. Even this for this third quarter, they actually raised their guidance by a few percentage. So yeah, I definitely feel like they're going to be close to 25%. And again, it's a tech stock, but I'm still just going to you know tag them with a 40 PE, because they're growing pretty fast. Technically it's even possible if we even if we assign them 50, I think it makes sense, but I'll just stay on the safer side and just say okay, they will make $6 and assigning 42 PE, and it's 240. I really do believe that AMD, even for EPS, I think it's pretty low. They might make more than $6. It's probably going to be close to 620, 630, but I'm just going to go with whatever the analysts are predicting. So based off of that, we get this share price of 240. If we go by the 400 shares I have, so 400 times 240, we are close to 162. And now we have the last stock, Novo Nordisk. This is not a US based stock. I think they're located in Denmark. This stock, it dropped massively. If we look at the chart here, you could see a massive drop here. Started from last year pretty much, and it's all because of one of their drug for obesity. They're losing market share, and they also guided for lower revenue as well as EPS. So this stock, I have 300 shares. I'm already up 9%. Currently it's trading, if we just look at the 5-year chart, you could see this is probably one of the lowest. We haven't seen this price since, yeah, like July 2022, June 2022. So yeah, big drop. So for Nordisk, I think if we look at the EPS, they're expecting next year is somewhat close to 398, and currently this stock is trading, I believe, under 14, which is pretty low. And yeah, little under 14, which is pretty low. But I do feel like if we look at this growth that they're expecting, which is 9.44, I do feel like it is pretty low. And another reason is because just I think this Friday, we got a news that FDA just approved another drug, which is related to one of the liver disease, I believe. It just got approved. That means more revenue for them, and that means this should be more than 10%. So even if we assign market what SPY is currently trading, so let's just say 17, 18, let's just say 18, and they're expected to make $4 next year, we get 72 ish. And that is next year though, right? But let's just say 2026, 2027, they're probably going to be close to 430, 440. And if we just assign them 17, 18 PE ratio, which is close to 77 or $78, right? So I have currently 300 shares, and they are, let's just say $78. That's how much it's going to be in 2 years or 3 years. So I'm around 185 and 400. And another thing, don't forget, that is the dividend I'm going to receive. UNH and Novo Nordisk, when I bought it, I think the dividend yield was 3.5%. So that means just alone in dividend, I'll be making over or close to 1100 or more per year. So in 2 to 3 years, I'll be making extra another $3-4,000. If we add that up, we are close to 190. And yeah, so that is what I'm expecting. I think in terms of the price, the PE ratio that I assigned, I really lowballed it pretty much. I feel like these stocks, all of them, they're going to grow much faster. They're going to bring more to the bottom line, and it's probably going to be trading close to 45 or 50 for those, specifically Alpha and AMD, because they're growing very fast. But if the economy stays solid, I think we are going to touch 200 for sure. Now, if there is a recession or something like that, then it might be an issue. But that's what if, we don't know. We have to wait. So let's see, I'm giving it 3 years, or like within 3 years. That's what I'm expecting. So maybe every month or two, I'll post one video just saying, or just updating you guys on where I'm at currently. And yeah, let's see how we do. Hopefully we'll get there, and we'll achieve this bet, or at least achieve this goal. So yeah, that's all, until next time.